Morning and welcome back to another Slay the Spire stream. I'm your host, Vegetable Bread. Let's see what I ended on yesterday. Looks like it was the defect, which means we're going to start off today with a Watcher run. Obviously, we're doing A20. Let's go. I like these options quite a bit. Common Relic, Rare Relic for damage, and new Boss Relic. Not a huge fan of the Watcher's starting Boss Relic. Not a huge fan of these paths either. I would like to go this way, but then we're forced into an awkward early shop with no gold option and no curse option. We can get 3 elites that way. If we go left, we only get 2 elites. We could also hit this guy and get 3 elites. And we could theoretically do that without hitting this shop, but we'd have to take 4 fights and then immediately an elite. And we'd skip this fire and these 2 fires. I guess we could get that fire if we doglegged through this shop. And going through that shop is pretty reasonable after we've done 4 hallway fights and then an elite. And then we get to go shop fire chest, fire elite, which is pretty nice. So as long as we survive these 4 fights and elite fight, I think this is a pretty okay path. It probably means we're not taking 18 damage though. So we should either take the random common relic or trade out for a boss relic. I think I'll take a trade out for a random boss relic. There's a couple of boss relics that are like kind of run enders, but there's a lot of them that are really good, quite a bit better than pure water. So it's kind of a high variance play, but I think it ends up being quite positive usually. Uh-oh, runic dome. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge run. Alright, so they can be hitting for up to 13, and we can block that out. So I guess let's plan on that. We can also end up weak, so setting this guy to 6 might not be that useful. Okay, they hit for max damage, but that means that they are not ready for me to come back at them. So we get to break this guy and block out the other guy. So it should be a 2 damage on the fight. Foresight's quite nice for a floor 1 pick. It is not an attack. I like to take attacks early. But if we get a Foresight, then cards like Weave are much better. I guess there's not a ton of Scry Synergy stuff. It's pretty much just Weave. We could take Empty Mind. We do have 4 energy. So card draw is pretty good. Both Empty Mind and Foresight have some sort of draw potential stuff, right? Because if you Foresight, then you get to take up to 3 cards that are bad and exclude them from your hand. So it's kind of like you get an Empty Mind effect every turn, except without the sense exiting. Yeah, I think in the absence of either Flurry of Blows or Weave, Empty Mind is more likely to find its attack companion, because Weave is uncommon. But we don't necessarily have to build around either of these two. They're both just fine on their own, and as a standalone card, Foresight is much better. You only have to play it once, it sort of draws for the rest of the game. Empty Mind is convenient just to get out of Wrath, or to enter and exit Calm later on. At the beginning of the run, the Vigilance is kind of too expensive to do too much stance dancing. But as a 4 energy deck, I think it's pretty reasonable to want to play Vigilance and then exit it to draw cards. Just because like we get 8 block, we don't know how much block we need, so getting a bunch is pretty reasonable. Runic is actually not too bad in Act 1 now that I think about it, because like Gremlin Knob is on an exact cycle, Lagavulin is on an exact cycle, and Sentries are on an exact cycle. So there's no guesswork for any of those. You know exactly what they're going to do. Let's see who the boss is, because some of them are on cycles and some aren't. Slime Boss is kind of the worst boss for that situation, because as soon as he splits, you don't know what he's going to do. Yeah, I'll try the stance dancing thing. Alright, he's usually attacking for either 7 or 12. Let's go ahead and Vigilance Empty Mind, and then we're going to Eruption. Sorry, Eruption and then Empty Mind. I guess I'll block in case he's hitting for 12. Yeah. Well, we're going to block once and strike 3 times, so no sense in worrying about what he's doing. I think I like double defend, double strike. We're not in a stance, so we don't need to exit it. Alright, good fight. Empty Fist is a bunch of damage, and it would be our second stance exiting card. So then we'd be a lot more free to take things like Inner Peace and Flurry of Blows. I don't think we want the gold. We do. I guess we don't want to lose gold either, though. Our health is pretty valuable considering we're a Runic Dome deck, but that gold is pretty valuable too, because we are going to go to the store, and we're going to heal after the store, and we've got 2 fires to do it. So I think we grab the gold. It's a little bit greedy, but we want to buy a relic. Alright, this fight's not very predictable, unfortunately. But we can play our whole hand with Empty Fist, so I think we will. Empty Fist also kills him. So maybe we just Empty Fist Vigilance Strike. He can do 10 damage, but I'm okay taking 2. Let's Empty Mind and do crazy stuff. So we have 5 energy, so 9 plus 36 is definitely lethal. Alright, that was our last easy fight. After this, things get harder. None of these are particularly appealing. We do have some card draw with Empty Mind, so having follow-up to cost 0 is kind of nice. Sash Whip is also one of the few ways to block against Gremlin Knob. Yeah, I think I like blocking Gremlin Knob. Also, we're with Slime Boss, so weakening him on his critical turn is very nice. Alright, so the most we can be being attacked for here is like 20. We don't really have a choice, though. We're going to break 3 and defend for 5, so I'll leave this guy at 4 because we're most likely getting weakened. I'll leave the other ones at 6 in case we aren't. Oh wow, that's tremendous. Thank you so much. So we'll kill 2 and block for 5. I don't want to draw 2 cards because I wouldn't be able to play them. Tremendously generous. Louses. Wow, that's quite a combination. There's our Flurry of Blows, or the Weave, or Lessons Learned. This is a tremendous card reward. I mean, we have to take Lessons Learned, right? Flurry of Blows is a common, we'll see it again. Lessons Learned is run-changingly good. So I guess we grab that. And take it into this fight. Lessons Learned does exhaust, right? Yes, of course. Okay. So we're getting hit for 10 this turn. We can Vigilance Empty Mind. If we draw Eruption, we're not too upset. We probably want to use the Artifact Potion Speed Pot trick this fight, mostly just because we don't want to be holding 2 potions for the rest of the act. We're going to find another potion, and that'll make a set. And it's never going to be better than right now, basically. Alright, so we are wasting Lessons Learned here, or at least we're not playing it yet. Just because we definitely want to get a kill with that. Now we got to block for 20 if we can, and we can't. We can attack for 17, but that's not quite enough. Oh wait, we can. Thanks, Speedpot. Alright, we have 10 damage incoming. We could Eruption double defend and block out. Seems risky. We could also just leave that Spire up for Lessons Learned. But I think I'll just strike him and single defend, even though it's not a super efficient turn. I'll go back into Calm. Empty Fist plus Strike plus Lessons Learned is not lethal, but maybe if we draw it will be. It's pretty unlikely. He's attacking. I have to keep track of this. Let's go to Empty Mind. It looks like we're just going to Empty Fist defend Strike and leave Lessons Learned out again. We do really want to get an upgrade with that. This is only 15 damage. We only have 14 left in the deck, so there's no world in which we kill this sentry next turn. And in fact, there's no world where we even block him. So that's unfortunate, but we can block this turn, so we will. Alright, we get to block out and set this sentry up to die to hopefully Lessons Learned next turn. We have a 1 in 4 chance of drawing Lessons Learned, approximately. If we don't draw Lessons Learned, we could also draw a Strike or Eruption to kill him, or Empty Fist. Or we could just kill him now. Oh, actually he's attacking now. I'm not going to take 10 just to try and save Lessons Learned. Oh, I was mistaken. He was not attacking. There's Lessons Learned. We don't have lethal, but I don't think we have time to wait around for Lessons Learned to come back either, so we're just going to set him up to die and miss the proc. Horncleat's pretty nice. There's a Weave. We don't have any scrying stuff, so I guess we picked the wrong synergy package here. We'll probably find a Flurry of Blows, but for the moment we do not have it. Simmering Fury is a nice little Stance Dance card, though. We have lots of Stance Exiters, so I think I will grab Simmering Fury. Going into a shop with a good chunk of change. We probably don't need Warpaint. We'll probably get that. Strange Spoon on Watcher. We could afford Strange Spoon and Bandage Up, which is kind of neat. And potentially get an infinite amount of health per fight. This is kind of actually an interesting little math problem, what the average heal for Bandage Up is, assuming you get to play it until it exhausts. I believe the answer is 8. But but it's like you get 4, and then you get a 50% chance at 4 again, which is the value of that is 2, and then you get a 25% chance of 4 again, which is valued at 1, so you're up to 7. And then you get a 12.5% chance of 4 again, so the value of that is a half. And you're sort of Xeno's paradoxing up to 8 health on average per fight. I quite like Strange Spoon. I don't know exactly what we're going to do with it. Let's take a quick look at the Watcher cards and see if there's anything that jumps out as a Strange Spoon synergy. There is the Crescendo and Tranquility package. Those both exhaust, and they would have a 50% chance not to do so. Collect exhausts, as well as Miracle itself. So anything that produces miracles has a 50% chance to put miracles into the deck, which is actually not really a good thing. Foreign Influence has exhaust on it. Talk to the Hand exhausts. Okay, that's pretty meaningful. Alpha exhausts. Beta also exhausts. So on average, you would expect to get 2 Omegas if you have an Alpha. Blasphemy exhausts, but you never want to blasphemy twice, so that doesn't matter. Conjure Blade exhausts. Deus Ex Machina exhausts. If you have Deus Ex Machina and Strange Spoon, do you end up with a Deus Ex Machina in your hand as well as the miracles? I guess you do. That's so odd. Lessons Learned exhaust. Okay, we're definitely picking it because Lessons Learned says exhaust on it. We already have a Lessons Learned. Omniscience says exhaust. Scrawl. Vault. And Wish. So a lot of really high value stuff says exhaust. So we're definitely going to pick Strange Spoon. And now it's kind of between card remove as strike or buy a Bandage Up. I quite like buying a Bandage Up with Strange Spoon. It's wacky. Halt is also quite good in the deck, but I think we'll just find a Halt if we need one. Study gives you insights, and insights have exhaust on them. Yeah, both of the Deceives also give you cards that retain and exhaust, so those can shuffle back in. Strange Spoon has a lot of synergy for Watcher. We could do Study and a Strength Potion. We're probably resting at one of these and taking an upgrade at the other. Maybe we rest at both, just because we have Lessons Learned. But maybe we upgrade Lessons Learned itself. Gosh, there's a lot of options here. Bandage Up is not great against Gremlin Up, but neither is Study. Strength Potion is. Card Remove is really bad against Gremlin Up. So is Distilled Chaos. I'm not a big fan of studying, though, so I think I will take Bandage Up. It also costs 0, and we have quite a bit of draw. It also upgrades to heal for 6, which is 12 per fight, which is no joke. And we do have Lessons Learned, so we're likely to get that upgrade. What's in the box? Turnip. Oh, I love Turnip. Okay, cool. I think I actually will take a rest here. Upgrades are not that important because we have Lessons Learned. We do get full value out of the rest, and we might be fighting 2 elites in a row here, so being at full health seems pretty reasonable. Gremlin Knob. I think we just Lessons Learned him right off the bat. We could Vigilance Simmering Fury to draw a bunch of cards and get a bunch of energy next turn, and then we don't need 2 Lessons Learned, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, okay. It's weird that we have got the same icon as he gets for being mad. We're probably going to play all 3 of the attacks. I don't know if we want to play Empty Mind. I suspect not. We're only taking 8 and we're already blocking for 14, so not too worried about that. We can make him weak. I'm going to restart the fight so that I can eruption before I do that. I'm pretty sure I do want eruption, because we just missed out on 8 damage. So he should be at 25, 36, 24, which is like in range for. Well, let's see, because he's hitting for 24, so we'd be hitting for 48 if we enter eruption here. So maybe we don't want to do that. Okay. Well, wait, he's hitting for slightly less because he's weak. So it's normally 24, but it's going to be like 17 or something with the weak. I still don't know if we're going to have time to draw back to get a kill with lessons learned, but we can give it a shot. Yeah, I think it was reasonable to take the extra damage from eruption on that previous turn. So I'm going to do that. Alright, so we're going to Vigilance, Simmering Fury, Strike. And then strike, Empty Fist, dodge a little bit of damage. Alright, and then we're going to Eruption, Sash Whip, Strike. Okay. We've got a Tori. Vault is nice because it may not exhaust. So we might get extra vaults. We also have a bunch of energy. Protect is not super useful in a Runic Dome deck. Diva Form is nice because we already have 4 energy, so it's pretty easy to play. We don't have a ton of stuff to do with the energy. We have focused on getting quite a bit of card draw, though, so it's not unreasonable that we could get to a place where we can use as much energy as we have. I think yeah. Vault is tough, though, because as a Runic Dome deck, we don't really know what's coming. So Vault is like super useful when you like know that you can't block what's coming in, and you're like, I want to take a mulligan on this turn. But if you don't know what's coming in, then like it's hard to know when you're supposed to vault. I guess you just vault on turns when you don't have good options. You're like, oh no, I can only block for 5. I bet they're attacking for more than that, so I'll vault and whatever. Vault's just also a really good card. But Diva Form is too, right? Like Diva Form's build around. More so than Vault is. But if we lessons learned and hits Vault, then Vault costs 2, and then we can like take a half of a turn and Vault, which is pretty nice for stance dancing, because you can like get into and out of stances repeatedly with Vault. This also is really good against Slime Boss, because we can stop him from breaking. Not today. Alright, sentries again. We don't have our friend the speed pot this time. And in fact, we haven't gotten a single other potion since we did that, so maybe that justification was flawed. I'm going to save Vault for when we need it more. And let's hope Bandage Up doesn't exhaust. It did. I think we'll double defend strike. We still want to get that lessons learned proc in this fight. I'm not giving up on it. We have a bunch of attacks. We can Vigilance Empty Fist to get extra mana, and then play the rest of the hand. This is a middle attack turn. We can kill this outside sentry, which prevents some voids from going into the deck. Next turn is probably Eruption Empty Mind. So we do have a guaranteed 9 damage next turn if we want to kill him. If we want to leave him to die to Eruption. We could just Sash Whip him. It's pretty efficient too. It wastes a lot less damage than Double Strike. Okay. And then we can Double Strike on this guy. I was secretly hoping for Lessons Learned, but we didn't get one, so... Eruption, Empty Mind. And then I think we just defend. Defends are super good here because we have Tori, so we only take 1 from his attack. Or wait, I guess it's his attack currently. There's Lessons Learned. I think I'll just take 1 and save Vault for a turn when I don't have any block. Taking 1 is okay. Alright, Vigilance take 1. We are currently exhausting dazes faster than we are becoming dazed. But there will be turns where we miss, like this. We can play it all. Should we do that, or should we leave him at 9? 9 leaves him dead to Sash Whip, Eruption, or Lessons Learned, but otherwise requires 2 strikes. I think I'll, let's see. We have Empty Fist next turn, so there's no point. Empty Fist is perfectly efficient. We could also just Empty Fist on this sentry. We're blocking for 9 this turn, so we don't really care that he's attacking. And we can leave him up for Lessons Learned. Okay. There we go. Lessons Learned finally gets 1. Actually, Simmering Fury is probably better than Strike here. Simmering Fury draws me extra cards, and he's not attacking next turn. Now the race is on to try and take 0 from this guy. Can we get 2 more strikes before he attacks again? Yep. Fossilized Helix is very nice. We also got an upgrade from the fight. We did not take the Weave, so we don't really care about scrying. None of these say Exhaust, although the Evaluate does shuffle an Insight that exhausts. We could take an additional Stance Exeter. That would be our 3rd one, so that seems like maybe a bit much. We do have an extra Simmering Fury though, so we do have a way to enter outside of the normal Vigilance Eruption. So we would go up to 3 enters, 3 exits. It's not a terrible idea. We do need some more damage against Slime Boss here. We did just pick up Fossilized Helix though, which is incredible against Slime Boss. So his first big attack, we are just gonna waltz through, so we've got plenty of time to set him up. We can even vault on his split turn. We'd split him and then vault and then hit him again. I do quite like Cut Through Fate though. So Evaluate, you expect to draw 3 cards with the Insight. So it is actually card draw positive. Normally I think about this card as card draw neutral, which is kind of a weird way to think about a card because almost all cards are negative in card draw by exactly one card because they are themselves a card. But this one is card draw neutral, so it kind of doesn't count as a card in your hand, although it does defer the card draw until later, which has some timing problems, right? Because the fight might end before later comes, which is sort of the problem with that. I do like the idea of adding things like evaluate, because we don't know when we need block, because we're a runic dome deck. So being able to just like evaluate, mostly to develop the insight, but also just in case people are attacking this turn, feels good. We also can't be frail, so it's going to be 6 block pretty reliably. Tori in Runic Dome is so annoying because we have no idea how to get to Tori breakpoints, because it all depends on what the opponents are doing. Yeah, I think I'll take an evaluate. I don't think that we need the gold this much. We should probably rest. Kind of the same story as earlier. Like, we need to start getting some procs out of lessons learned, and then upgrades won't matter a ton. Although we've been taking a lot of elites, and elites can be hard to get lessons learned procs out of. I guess we empty mind. And then do the biggest damage stuff. Alright, so we can Simmering Fury and Bandage up. Darn, exhausted again. We're not probably trying to land lessons learned in this fight. We could wait for being in Wrath mode, but I think I'd rather just spend it. I guess Strange Spoon can also cause Ascender's Bane to come back, which is pretty annoying. Although Strange Spoon has failed on every single card so far. It has never recycled anything. Okay, so he's hitting us this turn, but we don't really care. We kind of just want to set him to 76. 76 is 24 health below 100. He's 15 health above 100, which is 39 damage. And we can do 18 plus 24, which is 40, which is slightly too much. Oh wait, sorry, 24 plus 18, yeah, that's 40. Okay, so if we did 40 right now, he would go to 75 and break, and we don't want that. But it's not super clear what exactly we do want. So I guess I'll do the max damage I can do without breaking him. Oh, thanks, Strange Spoon. Really appreciate getting that friggin' slime back. First card you saved in the run. We could Empty Fist, but that breaks him. I think we just wait until we like Sash Whip Vault or something. I guess I want to be in Vigilance. If I go into Vigilance, I can also Empty Fist and not break him. I was thinking I would go into Vigilance to get mana on the Simmering Fury turn. But I like putting him at 76 quite a bit, so I'll do that. Oh my god, Strange Spoon rescuing only slimes. What the hell? Alright, well this definitely isn't the turn. He's doing a preparing turn, so we can hopefully Vault and Simmering Fury this turn. Yeah, I think I like Vault Simmering Fury. So we go into Wrath, do a big break on him, draw a bunch of extra cards. Gotta be careful not to end our turn early. We also get to retain the insight, so we get to draw some extra cards there. Let's see, we're at 8 cards, so we can safely insight. Which gets exhausted, hopefully. Okay, well our max damage here is Eruption Double Strike, so I guess we'll take it. $34 is not a bad split. We can get stranded in Eruption, but it's not super likely. Now begins the scary portion of the fight, when we don't know what the slimes are doing. So we like kind of have to block or split or something, but there's no way to know if we're doing it right. So they can hit for 18. The worst case scenario is that they're both hitting for 18 right now, which would be them hitting me for 36 and me probably losing the fight. So I think I want to split one of them. And to get a good split on him, I should Empty Fist and strike him. But then if he's hitting, then I'm taking 18 sort of quote-unquote voluntarily, when I could be blocking for 5. I think that's okay. I'll just take a good split. Yep, there it is, taking 18. Okay, I think we Sash Whip one of the little ones and Vigilance and get rid of a Slimed. Seems like a pretty clear best play, because these can both be hitting for 10. Oh my god. I guess I should have hit the Acid Slime first. I forgot that I was immune to Frail. There's not much we can do this turn, so we'll just block for as much as we can. And Stranged Spoon, I will strangle you. What the hell? It missed on every single card for the whole run so far, which is only like 6 cards that I would have appreciated getting back. And then it has gotten me back 4 slimes in this fight. What the hell? Oh boy. Alright, well now we're weak. I think we have to go into Simmering Fury. I think getting a little bit of chip damage into the Acid Slime is reasonable. Yeah, we'll probably die this turn. Alright, well, Runic down. It's tough. Alright, we're cycling around Ironclad. Let's go. Alright, let's take a look at the map and see if there's a good way to use that gold. There's an early shop, but it's kind of too early. I would like to do like 3 fights and then a shop. It is on a good route though. You also want to do question marks before shops so that if you get Serpent, you can get rid of the doubt. Yeah, this is a good path though because it's got 3 elites and a bunch of fires. So I like that. Slime boss again. We are not actually forced to take this route. We could take this 3 fight, 2 question mark fire version, which is virtually the same. It's a fire before the elite rather than after, so it's fire and then 2 elites in a row. And then a hallway fight and then a fire. So this one is a little bit safer. There is an extra fire. So I guess I do like that one better. So that's an argument for the 100 gold. If we take the 100 gold and go here, we probably don't get to buy like the sexiest relic, but we might get a shot at a relic. With 200 gold, you can usually get a relic. So I think I'll go for that. Oh my god, it's so nice to be able to see what enemies are doing again. Can't kill him, so we'll set him up for next turn. I guess I should have looked at how much damage I had next turn, but I have lethal, so that'll be fine. Feel No Pain is a pretty sexy floor 1 pick. There's a lot of decks that really want like 2 or 3 copies of Feel No Pain, if you can find them. Obviously, you want to take damage before you take Act 1 elites, but we have a weak potion and almost full health, and we're about to go to a shop with 200 gold, so I feel pretty confident picking Feel No Pain over Iron Wave. If it was a headbutt, maybe we'd think more about it. There's a second Feel No Pain here. We're passing on Tungsten Rod, which means it will not be available for the whole run, so we're not going to be able to cheese the boss, or cheese the heart with that. We can grab Feel No Pain Shockwave. It's our second Feel No Pain. It doesn't do any damage, though, which is a bit of a bummer. Also, Shockwave is not crazy good against sentries. We could do bandage up for the second run in a row. Feel No Pain bandage up. Yeah, we're gonna have to pick whatever damage card we see, but I think Feel No Pain Shockwave is pretty good. That's just a lot of stuff to be doing. I'm struggling to think about what I do with the rest of the like 80 gold that I'll have. Maybe Twin Strike. Maybe Anger. I keep imagining a world in which like I pick Anger and then either exhaust all the rest of the cards in the deck or have the Anger be the thing that I exhaust. But the only thing that Ironclad really gets that exhausts Angers is like True Grit. Like Second Wind and the attack version of Second Wind only hit non-attack cards. Which makes them not useful for getting rid of Angers. We could do a card remove if we were feeling extremely ambitious. We could remove a Defend since we have we just picked a lot of defensive cards, and they don't really work with Defends. I think I kind of like that. Increases the attack density of the deck while still being a card remove. Okay. Also, Feel No Pain is insane against sentries. You basically just don't have to block at all. They just block for you. Maybe we just bash Defend here. Bash on him to set him up to die next turn. Yeah, I think I like that. Because he's the threatening one. He's strengthening up. I mean, it seems like I should take a third Feel No Pain, right? Like, that's nuts. We also have our first shot at Anger here. I don't know if it's correct. I suspect it's not, but it's good TV. Double Strike Feel No Pain seems right. Double Defense Strike, I guess. Taking 4 damage so far. We can take 2 more and still take 0 on the fight. Maybe the right route there was Shockwave Strike. It's almost as much damage, and it weakens him. Doesn't matter. Second Wind says Exhaust. I think True Grit is probably what we need, though. I think I trust True Grit a lot more than I trust Second Wind for like Act 1 and Act 2 purposes. Second Wind becomes really good later, especially if you get like a bunch of wounds or something, but we don't have anything that generates wounds right now. We just need True Grit to do something. I feel pretty confident with being at full health and having all these fires coming up, so I think I'll grab the gold just because it doesn't cost much. Alright, we need to upgrade that True Grit, but we really need to upgrade Bash. We don't have hardly any damage at all. We can just True Grit with only bad stuff in hand and trust it. We need more damage. Bash is the way to get it. The Bash upgrade is a little bit unfortunate in this fight, because normally you want to Bash and then wake him up. I guess we can Shockwave and then wake him up the next turn. So I guess we're waiting on Feel No Pains. We can also exhaust the Sunder's Bane. So we know what our next turn is. I guess it's double Feel No Pain Shockwave to set him up to be weak and vulnerable, but we're not really waking him up with damage. We're just letting him wake up. We could also Shockwave Strike to do a little bit of damage, but no, I think getting the other Feel No Pain out of the way is something. Maybe we just Feel No Pain, pass. Because then when Shockwave comes up, not only does it make him weak and vulnerable, it also blocks for 9. I think I like that. I hate letting Lagavulin just wake up though. But here it is, blocking for 9. We have the weak pot to keep him weak next turn, which we're probably going to need. True Grit does block for a lot. $14 looks suspiciously like 15. He's got 2 vulnerables, so let's see, we either take 6 damage or 12 damage. I guess it's the same, so we'll take the Bash. I think we need to just strike him. We need to get that damage before we're too weak to fight. Because he's about to put us to sleep. So Bash is exactly as efficient as Strike. So we'll keep the vulnerable up. We're out of weak potion now too. -4 strength, so Bash is going to do 6, which is 9 damage. So 9 plus 3 from the other strike. So we need to do 12 damage. We're going to be able to do 12 damage next turn, which means we are not going to have lethal. Because even if we did 3 strikes this turn, we would only do 9, and we'd put him to 13. Actually, that's not technically true, because we could... No, even if we draw another strike, we can't afford it. So we're getting attacked twice, so we might as well True Grit. It's really nice that the Feel No Pain block does not scale down with Dex. Alright, we have to Bash, and we can't kill him, so we might as well True Grit. This is kind of our last shot at killing him, but yeah, we got him. Okay. Voodoo Doll. Well, Voodoo Doll certainly helps the deck get some damage. It looks like Body Slam is probably where we're at. You can generate an awful lot of block with 3 Feel No Pains. So doing that as well as Body Slamming seems like a pretty productive strategy. Body Slam is a little bit scary because it doesn't do anything sometimes. But Hemokinesis is bad, and Clothesline gives us weak, which we already have a source of. And is expensive and inefficient. So I think we'll go with Body Slam. I don't think I'm going to rest here just because there's nothing I super need. Actually, I kind of do need the True Grit upgrade now that I have Body Slam, because I want to True Grit and Body Slam on the same turn. But if True Grit isn't upgraded, then it's going to hit Body Slam. The next fight is either Gremlin Knob or Sentries. I'm really afraid of Gremlin Knob and not at all afraid of Sentries. So maybe we do rest here, just so that we can actually survive Gremlin Knob. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Ink Bottle's amazing. Alright, here's Gremlin Knob. Turn 1 Bash is great. We're definitely playing the 2 strikes. We could just Gambler's Brew, but we only have 3 strikes left. So I'll just play Feel No Pain, but mostly to get rid of it, partially to charge Ink Bottle, but mostly to get rid of it. I think we use 2 strikes, and then we use the Gambler's Brew to quote-unquote guarantee that we get Bash next turn. Let's see, I guess Bash Strike is not lethal. It's 19. And if we take 48, we die. If we True Grit, we block for 10, and he gains 3 strength and hits us for 5 more this turn and 5 more next turn, so it's a net block of 0. So I guess we Feel No Pain. And then maybe we'll True Grit next turn. We can Shockwave. I think Shockwave probably saves our life. He goes up to 27 attack. Or, sorry, that's not true. What's his attack without the vulnerable? I have to look this up. I think it's like 16. It is 16. Okay, so his attack is 16 without the vulnerable, so he'll gain 3 strength and go up to 19. And then he's getting both Shockwave and vulnerable, so he's doing 50% more and 25% less. I don't remember how those multiply. I guess they just multiply together. So he's doing 3/4 of 3/2, which is 9/6. So he's doing an extra 1/3 of damage, and he's doing 19 damage. So 1/3 of 19 from the perspective of Slay the Spire is 6. So he'll do 25 damage. So he only gains 1 damage, but that's not the same as me surviving. So I think we need True Grit to survive this turn. So this turn kind of needs to be True Grit Bash, or rather Bash True Grit. And then we need to draw enough attacks the following turn that we kill him. So we'll mulligan hard for that. We could True Grit Defend Body Slam. I think that probably makes us survive. We're definitely not surviving without at least True Gritting. It's possible we need to double defend True Grit. I don't think we win if we do that. So we're currently blocking for 18 and he's hitting for 33, which means there's leftover of 25 damage, which kills us. And we only do 19. I'm pretty sure he's killing us no matter what we do. Gremlin Knob. Oh, I guess math? I was definitely supposed to... Sorry, what the fuck just happened? Okay. I see what you're saying. I'm going to replay the fight to get to that same point. I think I started with Bash Strike. It was Feel No Pain Double Strike on this turn. This turn was Double Strike Feel No Pain, I think. I considered True Gritting but decided against it. Okay, and then this was the turn where I Gambler's Brood everything. And then True Grit defended, and this is where I got confused, I think. Yeah, because I have 40 health, so he's not killing me. So this is when I Body Slam. Okay. Okay, cool. Sentinel goes pretty well with Feel No Pain. We don't currently have a way to actually exhaust it, but we'll find one. Second Wind is a way to exhaust it. And it goes pretty well with Body Slam. It kind of eats up my Body Slam fuel, though, because then after I do that, I can't do it again. Iron Wave also works with Body Slam, although it does not work well with the... doesn't say the word exhaust on it, which these two do. There's also pathing implications for Tiny Chest that I'll get into in a second. Yeah, it's just... I want to take Second Wind after I take the card that gives you 2 wounds in your hand and blocks for 15. But I've been offered 2 Second Winds now, and I feel like maybe I will never get another one, you know? Also, I removed a Defend earlier, and I am feeling that lack a little bit. I think I'm going to take Second Wind. I'm going to do one more Elite Fight, and if that Elite Fight can be Lagavulin, which would be kind of brutal, because the deck is like absolutely crushes sentries, and we would have fought 3 elites without seeing sentries. But if I do Second Wind and I run into Lagavulin, I want to be able to exhaust my defense and Body Slam him for 1 million. It's like a pretty reasonable way to beat Lagavulin. We're also fighting Slime Boss here, so we are going to have statuses to get rid of. So I'll grab that. Yeah, exactly. Second Wind is eventually much better. It's not currently really any good, but... okay, we'll try to block for... this actually blocks out because of Ascender's Bane. True Grip blocks out. I guess I'll just bash True Grip. Doesn't really matter what it hits. We can Shockwave to weaken and vulnerable him and gain 3 block. Our max block is Second Wind, because then we get 5 block in addition to exhausting this and getting 3. And 5 block is more than weak would save this turn. Also, getting a higher block total makes a lot of sense for Body Slam. It also only uses 1 energy instead of 2, so I get an extra strike. Okay. Feel No Pain, Second Wind blocks out, and then we can just strike. Really wish I'd had a chance to get that True Grit upgraded. It's possible that True Grit Defend Body Slam is lethal, but there's no way to know, because True Grit can hit Body Slam. I guess Bash Strike is lethal, so we don't care. There's Flame Barrier. Disarm says Exhaust on it. It's not very good against Slime Boss, though. It's okay against Lagavulin, which is really what we're afraid of. But Flame Barrier is pretty good against Lagavulin, too. Flame Barrier is also just good with Body Slam, and it's good way later against the Heart, if we get that far. Disarm is also good against the Heart, though, so it's not really a disqualifying statement. Disarm's also cheaper than Flame Barrier. Yeah, exhausting is a really important feature as well, for sure. We'll probably eventually get a corruption in this deck, so Flame Barrier would exhaust too. And Flame Barrier like does more than Disarm by a little bit. So in that future where they both cost 0, I would prefer to play Flame Barrier, but that's quite a ways from now. I think the main reason against picking Disarm here is that Flame Barrier is really good against Slime Boss, and we're like currently going to have a lot of trouble with Slime Boss, and that's like very soon. And Disarm is garbage against Slime Boss. So I think I'll take Flame Barrier. I think we have to rest here. As much as I want to get that True Grit upgrade, we have to rest to survive Lagavulin. Hey, it's Sentries! Alright. We definitely need that Feel No Pain developed ASAP. And I guess I can True Grit to block this turn. I don't really need Second Wind in the fight. Their statuses exhaust themselves, so I'll save the Strike and True Grit to start working down the rest of the deck. Shockwave leaves still applies the vulnerable. It does not apply the weak. We are exhausting an Ascender's Bane this turn. So if we feel no pain, Shockwave, Ascender's Bane, we're blocking for 6 with these, and then applying 2 vulnerable. So we take 14. It's kind of a lot. We could Snicko Oil. I'm a little bit afraid of randomizing the cost of my cards. But not super afraid. None of them exhaust either, so it's not like you get a huge bonus from doing it. We could also just double Feel No Pain Strike and get 9 block from the Ascender's Bane. I guess, wait, Feel No Pain Shockwave blocks for 12. And applies to the vulnerable, so I guess I should do that. If I do Snicko Oil, it does randomize the cost of Shockwave as well. And I have 2 Feel No Pains, so one of them will probably be playable. I think on average, Feel No Pain Shockwave is probably still playable after Snicko Oil. Okay, let's go ahead and do it and see if we get a better option. We are going to hit for 20 too, so like, if we can save a little bit of health, that'd be nice. So now Feel No Pain Shockwave costs 1. Or sorry, Shockwave costs 1, and this Feel No Pain costs the same. I would like to get both Feel No Pains developed, but it doesn't look like that's happening this turn. I think it's Feel No Pain Shockwave Defend. And then I guess double strike on this back guy. Or wait, so we're getting 6 and a turn block, that's 12. Yeah, I think I'd rather block for 5 than do 9 damage. Alright, we do get the last Feel No Pain, great. We don't need to block. Body Slam only does 1 damage, but whatever, that's fine. Okay, we're blocked out, so we'll play one of the strikes. We're blocked out. Bash does more damage than strike, so I'll play it. We need to find a Juggernaut. This deck needs a Juggernaut. Flame Barrier does a little bit of damage. True Grit, we are actually not blocked out, so we have to True Grit or Flame Barrier to block. I guess Strike also blocks, so just do that. Flame Barrier does a little bit of damage, so I'll do that. Maybe I can kill this sentry before he hits me again. Okay. I'll play the same cards for the same reason. I've had Feel No Pain against sentries before, but never quite like this. This is pretty insane. I blocked for 36 last turn by playing 0 cards. I'm gonna get so much block, but I don't have it right now. Really, Feel No Pain, I feel like, is super good later. I mean, you have to build around it, for sure. We'll let him kill himself. Oops, this is a terrible setup for Ink Bottle. I was not paying attention. I mean, obviously, like, sometimes it's hard, but you need, like, you need to find, like, a Fiend Fire or something to make it good. Oh, here's Power Through. Alright, well, we're taking Power Through for sure. Yeah, Corruption, that works as well. Okay, well, I don't really need the block this turn, so I'll just Shockwave and strike one of them. Let's see, they're going to still be vulnerable, so we're going to do 6 damage. So I'll hit this one, put him at 6. Our strikes will do 6 damage. Yeah, Corruption, Feel No Pain, and Dark Embrace is nice until you run out of cards. And you're like, oh no. Oh, I guess we do 5 damage. Huh. Oh, wait, it's not counting the vulnerable yet. We do 5 because of the strength. So we can strike, Feel No Pain, defend, block for 8, and then we take 3. Okay. We can Second Wind Body Slam to block to hit for 15, which could kill this one and block out. And then we can still strike the back one to break him. Oh. Oh, right, because I get 3 extra for exhausting cards, so I can kill the back one, punch the front one. Cool. We've got Power Through, Flame Barrier, and Body Slam. If we were a 4 energy deck, that's a lot of damage. I messed up my Ink Bottle again, but oh well. Yeah, Corruption decks are always kind of like that, though. You're like, you run out of gas eventually, but you know, you tend to pick enough cards that running out of gas means you win rather than you lose, right? So if you like find something that scales your strength, and then you add like 1 rage to the deck, right? Then it's like, okay, the worst case scenario is I run out of cards and hit you for 1 million every turn. Battle Trance is pretty nice. Draw a bunch of cards so that I can Second Wind them. I mean, pretty much every Ironclad deck wants a Battle Trance. So I think we will grab it. None of these cards say Exhaust, and I'm not really strength scaling, so there's not really any argument against it that I can see. We can already survive the 1 big hit. And I'm not afraid of having Slimes, because Slimes block for 9. So I think it's time that we smith up that True Crit. We could also do Shockwave. Debuffs are a little bit short-lived in this fight. so I think I prefer True Grit. We could also do a Feel No Pain, get those numbers up a little bit, but no, it's not like it doesn't change how the card works. Yeah, Body Slam's good too, especially since we have like Flame Barrier, Power Through, Second Wind, and Body Slam. It's like we can get a turn like we had in that last fight where we spend all 3 energy blocking and don't have any left for Body Slam. And that's like kind of what Body Slam's perfect at, but you have to upgrade it first. But hopefully we'll get like either Snecko Eye or an Energy Relic, and then Body Slamming for 1 will feel less punishing. And we definitely need to get True Grit upgraded. It sucks that it's random. All right. I'm pretty fine Shockwaving on turn 1. This is not great though. I don't want to get rid of these. I could see getting rid of Defend, but Flame Barrier getting caught in the crossfire is too much. Here's our first Feel No Pain. We definitely can't break him this turn. We could develop 3 Feel No Pains, but that's about the best we can aspire to here. I guess let's see what it is. It's probably double Feel No Pain and Defend. Get our clock cleaned a little bit. We can Feel No Pain, Slime, Body Slam. This Slime blocks for 9, so we would Body Slam for 15. We've got Vulnerable up until the turn when he attacks again, so we basically have to kill him. What I'm saying is there's no point in applying more Vulnerable. We could just Slime Strike Body Slam, that's technically more damage, but getting the other Feel No Pain developed seems pretty good. And it seems like we're kind of on track. Although this turn's really bad. Maybe I counted wrong. Second Wind blocks for a ton. Blocks for 14 times 3, which is 42, so we'd technically be blocking out. We could Flame Barrier Second Wind, just get rid of these defends. That also blocks out. And it hits him for 4. Yeah, I'm not afraid of going through more cycles because the slimed are fine. So I guess I'll Flame Barrier Second Wind. Let's Battle Trance, see what we get. Ooh, here's the big old Second Wind Body Slam turn. We do have to get rid of the True Grit first because it's too good to waste. I'll actually get rid of a Strike. Strikes aren't doing a ton. I guess this is a break. Maybe I should have done this math a little bit more carefully. It seems like a pretty good break though, so I'll take it. Power Through blocks out. We can bash to set up Vulnerable on one of them. We're actually not really afraid of Frail. Most of our block is coming from Feel No Pain, which is unaffected. So I'll bash the Acid Slime so that we can break him before the weak comes out. We can block for 9 plus 9 is 18, and take 12. We can do 10 damage, which takes him to 27, which is above his breakpoint. Hello, Mr. Does It. How's it going? I guess we technically block for more if we double Slime Defend. We'll only block for 3 more, though. And we're missing out on Flame Barrier damage. We could just double Slime Strike. Block for 18, take 12, and do 10. 10 is more than the 8 we would get from the damage return from Flame Barrier. Yeah, okay. Maybe this is a second win body slam turn. I guess we'll battle trance and find out. It is not. Trigger the wound is pretty much always happening, so let's do that. And now we can double strike this guy to break him at 7, which seems pretty good. We do take 3 damage, and Coconut yells at us if we do that, so there's some downside. But I think surviving at 4 is okay. Alright, we're still frail. Maybe the frail is a bigger deal than I implied that it was, because he's going to keep that frail up, and it is hurting us right now. This blocks for 18. We can kill 1 though, so we don't really care. I guess we kill 1. Interesting. And then Flame Barrier to damage the other one. The damage probably never matters. I guess it matters if we Flame Barrier damage him again. Double Slimed is happening. And then I guess Body Slam on this guy heals for 12. I'll do that. I like surviving. The Slimed are good, but they're not like so good that I want to keep them. So I will second win them away. Where's my calipers? Here's a turn where we need to block for a bunch and can't. We also can't block with Ornamental Fan. If we bash strike, that is 11 plus... this turns into 11 also, so it's 22 damage, which is not enough to break him. And I think if we Slime Defend, we die. So I think we're losing here. Nuts. It looked like such a promising run. Kind of a weird one, all these Feel No Pains in Act 1, but I was excited about it. I guess I would rather get a Fiend Fire first than the Feel No Pains, but... let's see, we can't get a draw with Ink Bottle. Yeah, we're dead. You know what? There was a turn where we could have gotten 4 damage on him with a Flame Barrier, and we chose not to. If we had, we would have broken him that turn. Alright, moving on to Silent.